It's gonna fail.
Careful for the turn.
It's kind of like hippie crack.
Okay, jump. All right, so I recently learned that two of my childhood best friends just bought brand new C8 Corvettes. Or rather, my friend Ryan bought a brand new C8 Z51 Corvette, and then my other friend Brandon immediately had to go and one-up him and buy a Z06. You see, this sort of thing's been happening for the last, I don't know, 2 decades now, where it seems that we always have to one-up each other when it comes to cars. Typical guy stuff, you know? So given this new information, I decided this was the perfect opportunity to vigorously test both cars to see, is the new C8 Z06 really worth damn near double the cost of a base model C8 Stingray? P.S. If you like the videos here and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so you actually know when I put videos up. It really helps for small channels like mine to help grow, and so mostly we don't have to do shitty ads for companies that you don't care about. You know the ones I'm talking about. So we're gonna do a quick walk around on my buddy Ryan's 2024 C8 Stingray. And it's 1 billion degrees out here and it's super humid, so don't worry about the sweat, okay? Ryan, what's happening?
What's up, dude? Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Ryan's one of my childhood best friends, high school. You know, we did a lot of stupid shit together.
Sure did.
And now you also have a C8.
Unfortunately.
Now, Ryan is an aficionado of Corvettes by this point. He had a really sick C6 Z06 with my cam in it.
Indeed.
And then now you have a C5 Z06 and this.
Yep. This is the most docile Corvette I've ever owned.
Perfect. All right, so look, you've kept this bone stock, right? I mean, it's like brand new.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a 1LT, poverty trim. Only options were Z51, mag ride, paint matched inserts. Other than that, it is lowered all the way down on the stock coilovers, and it has 20mm spacers front and back.
So, bone stock car, right?
Yep.
So, what is the out-the-door cost on something like this, like when you get it?
MSRP with museum delivery was $83,769. It gets burned into your memory, you know.
Because you've owned a bunch of Corvettes, right? How do you feel about the performance of the C8 over, you know, C6, C5, any of the other ones you've driven?
It is an entirely different car.
Yep.
It's almost not fair to compare them generationally like that. I mean, you can group 5, 6, 7 comparing to each other. There's improvements there, but this is an entirely different car. It does things the other ones could not, and the other ones do things this one cannot.
Okay, enough bullshit. Like, do you feel like it's quick?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's a little soft on the big end.
Okay, that's fine though. It's stock still.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth the extra money for the Z06?
It's a hot button question, buddy. I don't know if the difference between a base poverty trim to Z06 for the 50 grand difference, you're really just getting an engine and wide body. I don't know if it matters on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do a little fire up action.
Let's do that.
Give her hell. Okay, so by the way, that sounded like did you switch modes on that?
No, that was the same mode.
Why? Because there was some where it was like quiet and then some where it got loud. What the hell's going on there?
Here's a Z06 difference. They don't go into 4-cylinder mode. These do.
I see. Okay, so shit, that's kind of wild. So this does have the displacement on demand, I guess?
Yeah, only works in touring and sport mode, disabled in track mode, disabled in manual mode. But, yeah,
all right, so basically what he's saying and what I suggest is get a huge cam, lock that bitch out, you know, get some new lifters and, you know, block off all the displacement on demand because you know what, it's gonna fail.
Is TSP working on that or what?
Should be, god dang it.
And if they're not, they're missing out, guys.
Pop the hood on this thing. Pop the boot,
I know what you
or whatever.
This is very hard for Zach. I will say that the LS7, when it has milled heads, E85, and a BFD cam, it revs through the moon. And this doesn't do that. This is like this is a truck engine.
I see. So it needs a cam.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should get some data.
Let's do that.
So how long have you owned this car?
Took delivery March 30th this year.
Okay. And how many miles are on it? Is that
2157.
Okay. Any qualms with it so far?
Build quality. On the way home from buying it or picking it up at the museum, both doors were rattling. My glove box is currently stuck shut, has been for about a month. Common problem again. Body panel's not lining up straight. You know, I bought 3 new GM vehicles in the last 3 years and it's kind of just part of the course, but still a GM guy.
Okay. Performance-wise,
amazing.
Yeah.
What a killer value, I would say. I bought this car to drive on Ozark International Raceway, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think this car has quite a bit of capabilities just in the chassis.
Are there anything that's like kind of a pain in the ass with it?
Other than the exhaust valve thing, because if you're driving around in a rear-wheel drive GM V8, you like to think you're getting all your exhaust noise, and then all of a sudden, randomly, it just goes silent because it thinks it's in 4-cylinder mode when it is not.
Some bullshit.
It is some bullshit, man.
Is there a way to like mitigate that?
Yeah, probably.
What the f are you doing? Cutting it off. Says who?
I mean, yeah, in the typical Zach fashion, yeah. I would say there is always options in tuning. I don't know if HP Tuners has support there yet. I'm definitely going to be killing off the 4-cylinder mode before too long, but I figure I'll get a little miles on it, so if something's actually going to break, I get it fixed under warranty before I start modding too much. Not a very Zach thing to say.
No, but it's okay. I get it. New car shit. It's also 98 degrees outside. Christ, dude.
Oh yeah, bro, this is...
It's very hot, it's super humid, and it's gonna be interesting to see both cars kind of heads up against one another. Have you guys driven your cars together yet?
Not together, no. I mean, we went and, Brandon and I last weekend flew to Orlando to pick it up and drove home, so we put over 1,000 miles on it in like 24 hours. Yeah, so we could do this, yeah. That was specifically why it got driven back, and it would have the miles to not get spanked by a Stingray.
We're gonna do some real life testing and compare these vehicles because why the f not?
Why not?
Exactly. Oh yeah, buddy. What's up? All right, Brandon, thank you.
What's up, man?
Glad I could scumbag you this early in the morning. So, tell us what you got here.
2024 C8 Z06 Rapid Blue.
Now you just picked this up.
Yeah, like a week ago.
Yeah, and you drove it all the way from
Orlando.
Okay, so we'd have enough miles so we can actually run this thing, right?
Yeah, she's ready to rock. Got 1,500 miles on her, uncorked, ready to go.
Okay.
So it's got the Z07 Aero package on it. You'll get the wing, you get the side skirts, and then you get the front splitter with the canards. I didn't pony up for some of the badass features. I do not have the carbon ceramic brakes.
Poverty brakes.
It's got the look for sure, and it rips.
Okay, so does it party?
It parties, man.
Okay. Carbon wheel. Are those vented seats?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got air-conditioned buttholes.
That's right.
It's very humid out here today. And then I see a little carbon details on the seats. I will say this, from the normal C8 Stingray, the interior looks far more fancy. Is that Alcantara? Yeah. So we got some Alcantara details on the ceiling and A-pillars, color-matched inserts, and then the fancy stereo. It seems like most of the body panels, other than the door, the roof, and the lid, are different than the stock C8.
Yeah, there's like maybe, like you said, like 2 parts that are shared.
Okay. I was looking up some details on this, and it looks like these are heavier than a Stingray.
Wasn't that much.
Yep. But okay, so we got carbon package with the wing, the aero, obviously wide body, and exhaust that is actually a hell of a lot louder than one would think on a completely stock car.
Literally, I remember rocking out my old Camaro. It was Pro Charge, and that thing was loud. This thing, I actually have to be really careful in the morning. It will just shake the house when I fire it up. It's wild.
I believe it was like 110. Yeah. That's booming. That's like what my K5 is.
And that's off the factory floor. Honestly, I get in the thing, straight to track mode.
Can you turn on the dash so we can see what your gas mileage is averaging?
Yeah.
Because this was an interesting fact, because I noticed we've stopped for gas twice in the last 12 hours.
Yeah, I mean, so this is basically just a smart car. It's real efficient. We're doing a little bit better. We got 8 miles per gallon right now. Not bad.
8 miles, yeah. Earlier, when we were filling up again, it was at 7.7 miles per gallon, which is hilarious for a 5.5 liter V8. It's pretty small. So pop the hood. Let's get into the sauce here. Yeah. So this is where all the magic's made. LT6, right?
Yeah, LT6. Colton Bush, I salute you, sir.
Colton Bush was the person that hand assembled this engine. And then where are all these built at?
This is Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Okay, so these
God's country.
Yeah. Fun fact, there used to be a Corvette plant here in St. Louis. That got shut down many moons ago. It's got quite a wild sound, obviously. Flat plane V8, dual overhead cam.
I was an LS1 guy, and coming from that to this, it's like world of difference. First of all, like getting used to being at 4,000 RPM, like cruising, completely different feel for sure.
You're a tried and true Chevy guy from back when. In high school, you had your 35th anniversary SS. What kind of power was that making?
Last dyno I had was 670 to the tire with a D1 Pro Charger, stock bottom and LS1.
And I remember there was a point that, where you had just nitrous on it.
Yeah, like most guys, that's came nitrous supercharger. I built T56 and eventually a 4L80 truck transmission with a stall. I don't know if you've ever had a nitrous car, it's kind of like hippie crack. You literally can't not have it. It's like, it feels like a Honda Civic when you don't use it. So I got this really bad habit. Every day to work, I would just, warm up the bottle and I'd like cruise maybe a quarter mile to get on the highway, and I would just blast it down the highway every morning. I had like a 2 bottle a week habit.
I'm on the nitrous.
So it was, it was a fun habit, but not always good on the pocketbook, especially as a young 20-something-year-old. So it was badass though.
We're gonna see, is it worth it to pony up the dough to get the Z06? Now, what did this cost out the door?
So after taxes and title and everything, we're at like 150
Okay.
And some change.
So basically, the cost of a C8 Stingray on top of the cost of a C8 Stingray without tax. So are there any other things that we need to know about this car?
The big thing for me is coming from a straight line kind of car. I mean, I daily drove slicks and skinnies with no front sway bar, and that was like my daily driver back for it to work. And now I can turn. That is probably the weirdest experience. Is like before it was just like straight line all the time. I can actually turn and not die. Pretty neat.
I see. I tell you what, why don't we do this? Let's take it for a little ride. Let's see what it do, and let's get some numbers. Sound good? My man. So before we go and get my reaction from driving these cars, we actually did some data collection to see what these things are like in real-world scenarios for science. First up, it's cold start. Now, why is that important? It's because you need to know exactly how much you're gonna piss off your neighbors or kids and wife whenever you fire up your car at 5:30 in the morning to go to work or the gym or whatever. So let's start off with the Z51. As you can see, Z06, significantly louder on cold start, almost egregiously loud. That's a lot of decibels for a completely stock car. I approve. Now, secondly, this is really important. What kind of power and torque do these things make at the wheels? This is real world shit. Now look, everybody's giving you the figures on like road and track, car and driver, all that stuff. What do they make from the factory? But what do they actually make at the tire? Let's start off. Let's see what the Z51 does. So as you can see there, the stock C8 Z51, putting down 442 horsepower and a really healthy 427 foot-pounds at the rear wheels. Real nice fat torque curve out of the base model, out of that LT2. Let's get some dyno figures for this Z06. Pretty healthy numbers, as you can see. We got 636 horsepower, and the torque's a bit less than the LT2, coming in at 406 at peak. But the average is 381 foot-pounds across the curve. Now, notice how in the Z6, torque doesn't really start to come on until after 3,500 RPMs, but it does carry that torque all the way to 8,300 RPM. Whereas the LT2, you're starting to see the torque fall off at about 5,200 RPM. The LT2 is making 400 foot-pounds, much lower in the curve, which you'll certainly feel driving around town, but is it enough to overcome and propel that thing into semi-close numbers to the Z06? We'll see how that plays on the street. And lastly, we did 0 to 120 testing. Why? Because it's twice as cool as 0 to 60 testing. And we got to use the actual built-in telemetry system that is on these Corvettes, which is pretty cool. Now the Z51 did pretty good at about 12 seconds. And mind you, this is at 90-degree temperatures with like 85% humidity. So I'm sure those times would be a little bit quicker at sea level and with some more appropriate conditions. But I think you'll find the Z06 might be a little bit quicker. So for those of you not willing to do some math, that is a 1.73 second difference, 0 to 120 on street tires on a nearly 100-degree day with nearly 100% humidity. That's pretty staggering. The Z06 freight train's up top. All right, so I think that's enough of the science stuff. Let's go see what they're really like behind the wheel. Ugh. Let's party.
You break, you buy.
Yeah. All right. First up, let's do a nice, easy takeoff. How's that? So I've spent a lot of time in one of these. Obviously, we had one in Hoonigan, so it's a pretty familiar space, but a very comfortable car and something you can actually use every single day. I mean, would you agree?
I agree. They do a good job of making it an everyday car if needed. They can do a lot of things pretty well. That's kind of one of the nice parts about it.
Can we do launch control?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
We're going to do that.
Okay.
Letter E. Shift. Yep.
Oh yeah, baby!
Careful for the turn.
Dead. It's a Corvette. See, this thing moves though. You know, it's got a lot of torque, got a lot of usable power.
Yeah.
It's like an everyday man's supercar, you know?
It's got plenty of torque everywhere you want it. I mean, down off idle, all the way up top. I mean, we were looking at dyno graphs on them last night, and it's just flat as can be, which is what you want with torque. You want torque consistent, predictable. If it's not predictable, then be careful.
Yeah! I forgot how good these are. The thing I like about it is it still does have a very familiar sound, which I love. Pushrod V8 noise, you know, and the livability that you could just go and drive this to insert random grocery store here.
I take my daughter to school in it once a week in her car seat.
There you go. puts a smile on your face.
Oh yeah, man, every time.
See, the old truck engine works.
Yeah. You know, even though it's not the screaming flat plane crank, it's got a good sound to it. It's not too crazy, but it's good enough. A lot of people like loud.
I like loud.
Indeed.
And while I would like 3 pedals,
Yep.
I do have to say it's at least the paddle shifters are really, you know, spot on, and and the 8-speed shifts fast.
Fast. It's faster than it. I don't want to say it faster than everybody can shift a manual, but good luck trying to do it that fast.
Yeah. Well, look, I appreciate you letting me take a rip and trusting me.
Oh, bro, anytime.
We've
Glad
actually
you
never
did it.
crashed a car. Wait, never mind. We have.
No,
crashed
we've
a car
crashed
together.
cars.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and you were driving, so you know. It's
Okay. Let's go beat on Brandon's Z06.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Z06 time. How are you halfway through a gas tank already?
See how I drive?
Shall we? Let's go.
Jesus, last time we were in a car together, I think we were off-roading a Miata.
Oh shit! Holy f***, this is way stiffer and it moves way quicker. The difference from going to the Stingray to this is pretty spectacular. At first, I have to say, I was like, I don't know if I'm about the sound. But when you're behind the passenger seat and the one pushing the loud pedal down, holy crap. Now we're on slightly wet roads because it's been drizzling rain here, but holy f***, this thing is.
Dude, the crackles and pops, dude. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I get it. I will say this, just sitting in it right now, build quality, a lot better, materials way better, the steering wheel feels way cooler, just a grip. The transmission feels much more precise. I'm just guessing tuning and stuff because it's the same one, right?
Yeah, I think there's a gearing change just because of the RPMs and stuff. So, but I think outside of that, I think it's the same.
So it wants to sit around like 3,000-4,000 here.
So there you go.
Oh, they're getting spin at 8,000 RPM. Oh god damn! Holy, yeah, it
dude.
feels. I see why you're getting 7 miles to the gallon, dude.
Dude, you can't not stay in it. Like, I'm just driving around buzzing 45 grand and just ripping it.
Okay, jump. Holy, whoa, that.
Hey.
Okay.
Still got a splitter.
Oh, dude. Yeah, there's a big difference. I get it. There's definitely like a double the price point difference. This thing's awesome. Holy shit.
Like, if you close your eyes, it does not feel like you're in a Corvette. Like an American.
No, they did a good job on this. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, I was fully prepared to come here and kind of shit on it because it's like, it's, you know, you don't have push rod V8 big displacement sounds and stuff. I figured it'd be kind of like pretty lame down low, but it's actually really drivable and
Dude just keeps going.
it freight trains up top. This pulls way harder, like way harder than I expected it to. For a completely bone stock car, this thing boogies. Can we do a launch control?
Sure, try it. Go to complete stop.
Yeah.
And then push your pedal and you're good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, god damn.
It's like
Damn.
wow.
Damn. Well, I think this kind of settles it for me. Is it worth it? Every penny. It's worth every penny. Oh yeah, I appreciate you letting me drive it.
Dude, get a little rev, man. You have to get one.
Let me just put a part here. Okay, yeah, it's worth it. Every penny. Doesn't matter. Refinance your house. All right, Ryan, sorry, bro. Sorry for this thing.
You know what?
This
is
eats.
the way it was supposed to go, man. This is the progress of things.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, I was gonna shit on it, bro. I was kind of gonna shit on it, but I can't shit on it. It's
At the end
It's
of
sick.
the day, this is the first time we've all three had a car at the same time that ran.
A Corvette.
And a
Corvette.
Corvette.
Yeah.
Like mine was Team Jack stands, and yours would be out on the road enjoying it.
And then I only had one for years, and neither of y'all
yeah,
had one.
he was just biking it up. And so
Wow.
now we're all back.
well, boys. I think it's time we got some bush lattes. Let's go. Well, triple it. Yeah. So there you have it. Z06 versus Z51 C8 Corvette. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yeah. The Z06 is definitely a whole different animal. I can't wait to see what the ZR1 does. And if you're one of the lucky people that actually got one of those, holler at your boy. Let's test it. Let's throw the draggy on it. Let's see what it really does on the street. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let's keep the channel alive so we can keep having more fun with y'all and making free content and not littering it with shitty ads from companies you could care less about.